All right, today we are diving deep into a really significant piece of Indian law, the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act of 1956. This is the legal framework, the playbook, designed to fight one of the oldest and ugliest crimes out there. We're going to break down exactly how it's supposed to work.
And that brings up a huge question, right? How can a bunch of words on paper, a law, actually stand up against something as horrible and entrenched as human trafficking? Well, this act has a fascinating answer to that.
You know, this law didn't just appear out of nowhere. It was actually born from a global promise. India signed on to the 1950 UN Convention Against Trafficking, and this act was how they made good on that promise. So from day one, it had this international weight and a really clear humanitarian goal.
Okay, so to really get how this thing works, we've got to start with the basics, with the actual language it uses. Let's break down how the law itself defines the crime it's trying to stop. The first thing you'll notice is how the Act defines prostitution. It says, the sexual exploitation or abuse of persons for commercial purpose. That wording is so deliberate. It makes this critical distinction. The law isn't going after the person being exploited. It's targeting the entire commercial system that's making money off them.
And what's really important is that the law has evolved. Originally, it was written to protect women and girls, but a crucial amendment was made to change that to the gender-neutral term person. That might seem like a small change, but it's huge. It massively expanded the law's protection, recognizing that literally anyone can be a victim of this crime.
All right, so we've got the what down. Now let's talk about the who. The Act is incredibly specific about who it holds accountable, and it goes after all the key players in the trafficking world. You see, the Act is smart. It attacks the problem from 4 different angles. It doesn't just focus on one act. It goes after the people who run the brothels, the ones who live off the earnings, the ones who recruit or trick people into it, and the ones who hold people against their will. It's a full-on strategy to dismantle the entire business.
And the punishments? They are severe. When the law says rigorous imprisonment, it's not just talking about sitting in a cell. It means hard labor. The whole idea is to make the punishment a real, physical deterrent to anyone even thinking about getting involved in this.
7 years. And get this, that's the minimum prison sentence if a child is involved. From there, it can go all the way up to life in prison. It's the law making it absolutely clear that protecting the most vulnerable is its #1 priority.
Okay, so we've seen the crimes, we've seen the punishments. But who actually has the power to enforce this very specific law? Well, it's not just any police officer. The Act actually created a brand new role just for this.
Meet the Special Police Officer, or SPO. As Section 13 lays out, this is an officer, at least the rank of an inspector, who is specifically chosen to handle these cases. This ensures there's a level of specialization and focus that you just have to have for something this complex.
And this is where you really see the difference. A regular cop has to deal with everything, but the SPO has this laser-focused authority just for this act. They can order arrests without a warrant for these specific crimes, and they lead these incredibly specialized search and rescue operations.
And these powers are serious. An SBO can search a place without a warrant if they think evidence might be destroyed or someone might escape. They can clear out a whole building. But, and this is so important, look at the safeguards. A woman has to be there as a witness to the search, and a woman officer has to be the one to interview any rescued women or girls. The system is designed to be powerful, but protective too.
But look, this act isn't just about punishment and police raids. That's only half the story. The other half, the incredibly important half, is about what happens after an arrest. It's all about rescue and rehabilitation.
This one phrase, taken right out of Section 17, really gets to the soul of this law. The whole point isn't just to stop a crime, it's to find and help any person who is in need of care and protection. That's the mission.
And it's not just a nice idea. There's a clear, defined path for this. It starts with the rescue. Then the person is brought to a magistrate. And the magistrate doesn't just make a snap judgment, they conduct a proper inquiry. Based on what they find, they can order the person to be placed in a safe institution built for their recovery.
So what are these places? Well, the Act sets up 2 types. You've got a protective home, which is all about providing a safe space and care, and then you have a corrective institution, which involves detention, yeah, but with a focus on education and skills, all geared towards rehabilitation. It's a whole system for survivor care.
Whew! Okay, we've covered a ton of ground, right? Definitions, crimes, special police, rehabilitation. So now, let's pull it all together into one big idea that really explains the entire philosophy behind this law.
Because this is really the key takeaway here. This act isn't just a list of rules or punishments. It is a complete, integrated system. Think of it like a machine with 3 major parts all working together to solve one massive problem.
And here they are, the 3 pillars of the whole thing. First, punish. Hit the exploiters hard with penalties that really act as a deterrent. Second, enforce. Give specialized police the unique powers they need to act fast and effectively. And third, rehabilitate. Create a real legal path for survivors to go from rescue to recovery. Punish, enforce, rehabilitate. That is the entire game plan, right there.
So all of this leaves us with one final and really important question. Trafficking today looks so different than it did in 1956. It's online, it's hidden, it crosses borders in the blink of an eye. So how does a law written in the middle of the 20th century stay relevant in the fight against such a modern, fast-moving crime? That's definitely something to think about.